Hello everyone, my name is Chris. In today's video, I would like to talk about the current state of the finals as a game. Is it enjoyable? Is it worth playing? Is it worth trying to download it back if you deleted it or never tried it before? I'm gonna cover not only the casual side of the things, but the competitive side, as I know pretty much every single extraordinary player in the game, and the reality of the situation is that most of them quit the game and never play anymore. For one extraordinary player that stays, there are 10 that's already left, and they will come back only if Embark Studio does something truly extraordinary. The finals is hands down, by far, the greatest FPS game I have personally played. It is extremely unique, fun, interacting. You have a lot of team play, meaning that it's not a solo one versus one versus one versus one game, but you have to be really, really good in terms of your team macro in order to actually have results, which I absolutely love. There are support classes, there are carry classes, and is actually perfect for many, many types of people because some like to carry, some like to support. But given the fact that the finals is such a great game, I have to say that it's in a terrible state. It has insane potential, but for certain reasons, we find ourselves in a situation where Twitch viewership is at about 1,000 on average, when you have FPS titles that don't deserve even that, but get like 50 times more. You know, you know which ones I'm talking about, right? And then the player count is drastically dropping on average month by month, and it feels like nothing is changing for the better. But and I also thought like this, but instead of thinking in such way, I feel like we need to give developers a little bit more time. I've already said it in my videos, and this sounds like a complete copium, but I feel like this is a perfect time to appreciate the finals for what it already did for us, because the second you start complaining about things, you stop being grateful, and when you stop being grateful, you actually like you don't deserve anything better because you are not appreciating what you have right now. The finals is an insane game to play. It's very fun, it's very nice, and it's so much better than it was before. Like, I'm playing since release pretty much every single day, and the finals on day one versus the finals now are two different games, and this version is just so much better. But there are fundamental issues that developers either decided to ignore because they don't feel like they are the highest priority, or chances that they actually don't know how to fix these problems, and no one knows. No one knows, because in every single FPS title you have the same fundamental issue with ranked. Like, you join the ranked and it's a terrible experience everywhere. Valorant, CSGO, Dota 2, League of Legends. I have never seen a game that would have a cool ranked system. So, like, I feel like this is a universal problem, and the finals team needs to do something really extraordinary for it to work. And I actually have a few ideas on how they can make the game so much better. So my biggest concern with the game right now is obviously the ranked system. I already spoken about this in my previous videos, but it's awful. You join as a new player with 20 hours and you have the chance you have the chance to play against players that spent like 1,000 across closed beta 2, closed beta 1, open beta, and then the release. You have the chance to play against blatant hackers, and they are very, very common in the game. Like, for one tournament, you will have the chance to play with 2 cheaters, 3 cheaters in different teams, in different knockout rounds, and this is unheard of. Like, this should never happen in a game that is so good, because it ruins the whole experience. It's funny how my friends got the meme when they paid Asian Twitch streamers to stream the game in the finals. One of the dudes said like, "Oh, please, please don't let them join ranked, because they're gonna get completely obliterated by cheaters, by smurfs, by 3 stacks, because chances that they're gonna go and play solo, right? And like he wasn't exaggerating. This is like the true experience you get. Like, and if you look at the POV of a guy that just joined the game and want to just learn it, the skill floor is so freaking unbearably high. Like, what are you supposed to do if you don't have a team? Solo ranked is terrible because you're ranking up against 3 stacks. What are you supposed to do if you don't deserve a good team yet, right? So in order for you to enjoy ranked, you have to suffer through hundreds of terrible players and hundreds of hours of you struggling, dying, and repeating that process all over again, just to end up in a situation where you cannot play the game even because you have hackers in every single game. This is obviously unheard of, and they should add the system, elo system, where you would have to play against diamond players if you are diamond, and you can play against plat players if you are plat. Maybe you can throw some golds in there or high plats into diamond lobbies, or like stuff like this. But when you have a situation where I am playing against like gold 4 players, something really concerns me. Something really concerns me. And this is not fun for anyone. Like, I am a great player, and obviously the challenge needs to be on my level for me to progress, for me to get better in the game, for me to actually enjoy it. Instead, all I do is spam ranked just to farm on some noobs. And if you'd look at the players that are at the top of the leaderboard, they are not good players by any means. First of all, they are from NA, and of course they're playing against a lot more like controller players and stuff. But second, like, they are just abusing the ranked system to the point where, you know, it is pretty unbearable, right? So this is the main concern that I have with the game. As soon as they add proper skill-based matchmaking and make the game hard enough for everyone, because right now I experienced 2 states of the finals: complete boredom and disgust. There are no teams and players that are on the level of my team, because I'm obviously playing with like best players in Europe, right? Because no one is queuing, everyone left. And so we are playing against like golds, silvers, and bronzes. Well, not the bronzes, but plats, right? Which is like pretty much the same thing because of this terrible ranked system. And then this is like the boredom state, right? You experience it 80% of the time. You're like, oh yeah, I know that I can beat these people. Maybe they can grief me out, but outside of that, I can just go and like one-man army everyone. And then for the last 20% of the time, I experience like disgust, pain, misery, and suffering, because we are up against a cheater, and the amount of willpower, skill, and mental concentration it takes to get rid of one cheater is absolutely unheard of, absolutely awful and terrible. And there is no counterplay for that. There are no nukes anymore. You will not be able to like report in mid-game, so you end up in a situation where there is absolutely no need for you to try in ranked. There is no adequate challenge for you, and it turns out to be pretty bad. I absolutely hate when developers are neglecting stuff like this, because it fundamentally ruins the fun for the gamers. Like, let's pretend that I am a player that just wants to enjoy the finals after a long day at work. Maybe I hop on with my plat friends, right? And then we end up against a team that is just sweating their thingies off 10 hours a day. Nothing to do in life. They are just like playing video games for funsies, right? But because, you know, maybe they're slacking off the college and stuff, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I should never be in a lobby like this as a new player, right? Because there has to be a learning curve. I need to get destroyed, but not like fully. In a sense that, like, of course I want to see that there are players better than me on my respected skill level, but not to the point where I am joining ranked and absolutely cannot do anything against them. So ideally, matchmaker should leave you with the sense of, I can do it, right? It should leave you with an idea that you can actually make it. You can actually make it, and you just need to try a little bit harder. But right now, sometimes it is just borderline impossible. You can have teams that are so much better than you, especially if you are solo queuing. People are just not ready to communicate. They absolutely don't care about you. They are here to, I don't know, to do something, whatever. And yeah, terrible, terrible. Another big problem are cheaters. Obviously, you cannot get rid of them. They will always be in the game. Um, Absolutely nothing you can do, especially with an easy anti-cheat. Like, how can you possibly think that something called an easy anti-cheat can fix fundamental issues with hackers where um, it's so old and easy to like break through to the point where like you can download a free cheat and stay undetected, and then you can get manually banned by developer team, but that is not enough. That is not enough. By the time you are getting manually banned, you are already diamond and you already party pooped plethora of games, and only God knows how many players left and never came back for the game that they would have enjoyed with their full heart just because they got absolutely destroyed by a cheater. Very, very, very many. I would assume that like it is not less than half of the game potential population, because, and I understand like the hackers also need to pay their bills. That's why they're trying their absolute hardest to bypass the system. But I don't know. I'm not a game developer, and it's up to them whether they will fix the problem or not. My prediction is that the finals is not going to go viral. It's never going to be a big game. It's never going to be as big as Dota 2, CS:GO, and it is absolutely fine. This game is going to be niche, and I'm absolutely okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that. It's a pretty difficult game. This is why not a lot of players are being drawn to it, because they realize that even though they are mechanically superior because of other FPS titles, maybe they're just talented from birth, but you need to communicate with the team a lot more. This is not a solo game. This is not a game about egoism. This is a game about teamwork, helping each other, um, actually being attentive and patient with your teammates. And most people just don't have that, especially if they have this like egoistical playstyle where they are just pressing W on everything. So, if developers will fundamentally fix those two problems, at least mandatory, at least for some time, at least it's gonna be like half the measures. Maybe the cheaters are not gonna be so obvious because they will fear the ban. Maybe ranked system is going to be a little bit more strict, to the point where if you are diamond, you are matching against plats and no golds, right? Maybe, perhaps, the finals is going to get back on the track, gonna become the game it always deserves to be, which is like the best FPS title on the market right now. But for now, we just have to give developers a little bit more time. This is your perfect opportunity to download games that you loved playing as a child, download games that you just like right now. Maybe you would want to try them. For example, I am playing Path of Exile, and this is the game I loved when I was younger, and I sort of gave up to play FPS, right? And I actually regret it. It's an absolute banger. Maybe there is gonna be a Diablo 4 season coming out. Perhaps you enjoyed X Defiant, although game is pretty terrible. I don't know, I didn't like it. So maybe you would want to go for another major FPS title, maybe Overwatch, maybe Valorant, CS:GO. Advise you not to do that because it's brain rot there. There's just nothing to do. I seriously think that if you consider yourself an adequate person, you are prohibited to play games like Overwatch, Valorant, because they are literally like ruining your mental health and making you unhappy, miserable, sad, and this is not exactly what I would want from myself. So if the finals is gonna fail as a game, I'm not going to complain. I'm not gonna whine. I'm just gonna go and play something else. Maybe I'm just gonna like enjoy my life because there are better things in life than grinding video games. Certainly better things in life. So even even if the game will fail, I'm going to be absolutely okay. You guys are gonna be absolutely okay, and perhaps we're just gonna wait for another FPS title or wait for the finals to finally become better as a game. So that was it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think about my rambling. See you in the next one. Take care.